Yo. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening, y'all. Well, it's me. I'm back. Brian Forbes, the host of The Black Factor. And today I'm going to talk about something that I'm just curious as to whether or not anybody gave any thought to. Because everybody's been so involved in this election month. It's supposed to be election day. It done turned into an election month, but it's okay. Today is Free Thinker Friday, and it means that the audience will be included. That means that we're going to be doing the Zoom and the live, and everybody can come in and kick it and hang out during the show. So right quick, going into this thing, we're going to talk about Thanksgiving and COVID. That's the topic for today. The holidays and COVID. Because right now, that's a thing. And that's something that we're going to have to all give a lot of thought to, whether we realize it or not. And something we're going to all have to deal with. So, I hope everybody is ready and ready to get that thing in so we can have that discussion, because it's important, y'all. All right. Y'all stay tuned. Let's get this party started. All right. Now, Thanksgiving and COVID. So I started thinking about this thing, right? I started thinking about what this means. And I know how people are. Like every year, people already start kind of tripping about the holidays as it stands. Good evening, Alex. Alejandro, my man. Val Wells in the building. Thank you for checking in. You know, everybody already, and I see you, Martha. That's my cousin, y'all. Everybody already starts tripping about the holidays. You know, some people are a little more involved and nostalgic about the holidays than others. And, you know, understandably so. But the other thing is, and I think nobody has really, I don't know if anybody has really thought about these things, but the other thing is that with the holidays coming, you know, we have a lot of people that have passed away over the last year, not even year yet, from COVID-19, from the effects of COVID-19, and from, you know, the all of these things that are going on, aside from all of the other normal illnesses that we all have. And so the question becomes, how are we going to handle these things? Well, I'm going to make a few suggestions today. The first one, you know, needless to say, I think we should really give some consideration to keeping our gatherings small as possible. But then when you think about that, it makes you really wonder what we do with, you know, because right now, I mean, we've already talked about how COVID itself has placed people in sort of a weird position. Now, I personally happen to know of a few people, more than a few people, who literally are already feeling some kind of way about the entire COVID-19 situation and already being at home alone. I have some retired friends who, you know, they don't leave, they don't go too much out of the house, and they don't have significant others there with them and things like that. And that's already taken a toll. I have people who have been estranged from family and all of those sorts of things. And at least during the holidays, even, you know, those sort of the people who kind of hang out on the fringes of the family generally will at least come around during the holidays and hang out with us. But we're coming up on, you know, Thanksgiving. This thing is about to, you know, it's knocking right at our back door. Nobody's giving a lot of these things too much attention, mainly because we've been so focused on this election, this debacle called an election. And so now we not only have to deal with the fact that there are people who are going to be absent, we have to deal with the fact that there are people who are going to be absent and never return because they have succumbed to the effects of this virus, which, by the way, is getting worse. They're saying that by March, which is when I think everybody kind of really started taking this thing seriously. March of 2020 was because the last big set that we had, the San Antonio Steppers Alliance, and all of the we had a big party. We had one in Houston, and we did our thing in San Antonio. Cool like that Steppers, my man William Owens and Aurelia Owens. We kicked it real hard that weekend. We went to Houston. No, first, let me see. Some of the guys came here to San Antonio. We did our thing on Friday. We got up all Saturday, and we all went to Houston and kicked it, had a big old set there. We left Houston and came back to San Antonio on Sunday, and we partied all weekend. I mean, we partied all weekend, literally. And one of the guys kind of made a joke. My man Stretch Alex, the DJ out of, well, he's in Vegas now. My man Stretch Alex, he called it, he dubbed it the COVID tour. And we had a really good time. And a lot of people actually didn't show up for some of these things, some of these events, because of the threat of COVID. And we were still not knowing that much about it. And we were learning, what all of this meant and what was taking place. And so we had to deal with it the best way we knew how. Since that time, and we're talking about this coming March, the CDC has said that by their projections, there will be 435,000 deaths by that time. And right now we're only at 240,000 currently. So we're talking about adding another 200,000 within the next 3 to 4 months, which is insane. Which would mean that we literally would be doubled up on the amount of people who have died since January to date, which is 11 months. So in the next 4 months, we're going to double up. That means that this virus is getting very, very bad. It's been bad enough. But as it stands right now in the United States, we've had 10.7 million cases. And that number is obviously going to grow exponentially. And that's something I think that we have to be mindful of. And we have to make sure that we take care of our families, our friends, and the community by being mindful of the virus. And all that means is that the holidays are going to look very, very different than the way they've been looking in our recent history. I mean, we're accustomed to behaving and doing things a certain way, and we've been that way for you got family traditions, you got, Big Mama house. I mean, even though that's kind of like not even as much of a thing as it used to be when we were growing up, you always had that one matriarch of the family or that patriarch of the family who always kind of held things together, and all of the family gathered around those events. But let's keep it 100. Everybody has day-to-day lives because our society has not shut down because of the COVID. We all have things to do. We have work to go do. For those who have to leave home to go work, we have things that, have to get done. And we can't sit still because the bills still got to get paid, because no one wanted to shut the economy down. Not that we had to shut it down, but there was a way to make this happen. But nobody paid any attention to it because of our last outgoing regime in the White House. They never came up with a comprehensive plan to make any of this work for anybody. They never even gave it a second thought, and still don't. And in fact, today, Baby Hands said that they had no intention, this administration had no intentions of shutting down anything, and they're just going to keep on moving along business as usual. Because they don't care. They never did. But the thing becomes, do we begin locking down our own family in order for it to be safe? Now, I guess what I'm saying is that, can we do, or should we begin today? What's today? Today is the 13th, Friday the 13th. Happy Friday the 13th, everybody. I hope you had good luck. But here we are on a Friday the 13th. And the question is, if we started a family type quarantine right now, in other words, do kind of like how the NBA did and keep your family members within a certain bubble or a certain type of, environmental situation where you don't have to worry about anybody contracting anything between now and the holidays. And that way, when you're in the same space as one another, or if you are in another household, for example, let's say you're a person and you got 2 or 3 sisters and your sisters all got kids and so on, and everybody gathers at grandma's house for the holiday. Would it not be, or should it, maybe it should be agreed upon that everybody kind of refrain from being out and about and doing too much, so that when you do all gather in a surrounding at Big Mama's house or wherever you're going to be, that you have less of an opportunity to spread the COVID virus to one another. Now, that's just some random idea that I had, it just made me think about it. But right now, as it stands, we have 10.7 million people in the United States affected by COVID, right? With 243,000 currently dead, and 1.6 million of those are right here in Texas. Okay. And we have 19, close to 20,000 dead just in this state alone. In fact, California and Texas are the only 2 states that have literally exceeded the 1 million person mark in regard to contracting corona. But here's the thing, though, and I guess this is what what trips me out. I got to thinking about this. I mean, it is a virus, but I got to thinking about the way people have handled all of this and the reality of it. The reality is there are people walking around right now who still have this attitude and this idea that COVID is not real or somehow it doesn't exist. Here's the thing. When it comes to HIV, let's just use that. According to the CDC, in 2018, just in the year 2018, I'm just pulled, that's a random year I pulled out of the air, 37,968 people were diagnosed with HIV. Do y'all realize that 39,000 people is nothing compared to what we're dealing with COVID? And when it comes to HIV and AIDS, people are all the way up in arms, acting like this is a huge deal, which it is. But what amazes me is how insignificant COVID seems to be to some people when HIV and AIDS is such a big deal. I don't understand that. AIDS itself, or HIV, well, of course, we know HIV leads to AIDS. It doesn't even have the same level of infection, but we hold it in a much higher regard. I don't hear anybody running around saying HIV doesn't exist. AIDS doesn't exist. I'm not going to wear a mask. Are these same people running around talking about I'm not going to wear a condom? Do you realize that you can catch and die from COVID faster than you can from HIV and AIDS? In fact, now they've even got medication out here that will prevent the spread of HIV. They don't have that for COVID-19. Now, I realize that this virus affects everybody differently. At least that's been my take on it. From what I can see, I know people who've had it. I know people who have died. I know people who have survived it. I know people who've had it and had no symptoms at all. But the question is, who's prepared to play that game of Russian roulette? Because that's what it amounts to. You're taking a chance. And if you think that simply because, I don't have any pre-existing conditions, it won't hurt me, you're dead wrong. I watched a story on the news the other day of a 5-year-old who died from the effects of COVID. But here's the funny thing about it. People don't realize this, and this is why misinformation is so bad. People don't die necessarily from HIV or AIDS. What they die from are the complications of HIV and AIDS, which is the same way people die from COVID. It's not about the COVID-19. It's about what the COVID-19 does to your body and causes you to die. It's the effects of, not the actual virus itself. It's the damage that the virus does to everything else. So when a person catches pneumonia, that's what kills them. When a person's organs shut down because the virus has attacked the body some kind of way, that's what kills them. Same thing with AIDS. But yet, we have people who are walking around and believe that COVID doesn't exist. Dana Brock says the problem is only 10 to 12% have been infected, and the majority don't feel the effects or believe they will get it. Exactly. But I bet they believe they'll catch HIV or AIDS. And as crazy as that is, the numbers for HIV and AIDS are far lower than what we're dealing with COVID-19. It's easier to catch COVID-19 than it is to catch HIV. And the thing about COVID is that it transcends the majority of economic and ethnic lines, although it has been said that it affects black folks a little more than it does others. But, and you know, it's funny too, because for the first time, I've never actually done this. I looked up some statistics today, and I did not know this. And well, there's CDC on the CDC website, and found out that they said ethnic, but truthfully, African-American men is what it said. African-American gay and bisexual men were the highest risked HIV and AIDS globally. And it was an incredible number. And the list went down. And did you know that the lowest number of individuals who could be affected by it were white women? And we're talking maybe 900 a year or something like that. This was called an epidemic. It was an epidemic, although Corona is called a pandemic, which it is because it's global, but an epidemic, a pandemic dealing with HIV. Again, the numbers don't even come close to what we're dealing with COVID. On the infected side and on the death side, the numbers aren't even in the same ballpark. And I'm struggling to understand why we have such a difficult time dealing with that. So once again, it comes back down to what are we going to do when it comes to family and the holiday? Are we prepared to just say, yeah, you know what? It's all good. We ain't going to worry about it. We'll just not have our holiday gatherings. How many people are actually going to be able to do that? How many people are going to be able to say, yeah, we cool. We ain't going to do nothing. We just going to chill. There's not going to be a lot. I mean, let's keep it 100. We already know there's going to be a lot of people that will be like, forget that. I want to be with my family. I'm going to be with my family. And that is exactly what they're going to shoot for. And that's just something to think about. So my suggestion on that note is to be sure and check on your people, y'all. Check on your people. Make sure that everybody is okay. Make sure that the people around you are in good shape, that they're not struggling with all of this, that they're, let me not say that they're not struggling, because we're all going to struggle. There's going to be struggles. There's going to be hardship. There's going to be pain. There's going to be, all of these things. But I'm just saying this to say everybody is okay. That we must be diligent about taking care of our people, those around us and those who we care about, and make sure that, hey, how you doing? Is everything good? You all right over there? Do you need anything? Don't be upset. Try not to be upset. We're going to have people who are not, are able to be around the grandkids. The grandkids are not, because you still got to remember that if you spread this thing around, you're still going to have family members who are susceptible, those who will become more ill than others, those who absolutely do have pre-existing conditions, those who have to be concerned about making sure that they don't, get put in a trick bag by this thing. I'm adding a link to the live for anybody who wants to come on. You're welcome to join me and speak and tell us what you think. Y'all got to remember now, we got these flat earthers out here, these people who they believe in the flat earth, who think that 5G is responsible for COVID. Y'all see, everybody forgot about that. I didn't forget. I remember all those people going around talking about the 5G towers. In fact, there was one young lady who it cracks me up every time I think about it, how she was going on and on and on about all the 5G towers. Whenever she would drive down the street, she was getting sick. Sound like she was making herself sick. Alejandro says, a lot of social butterflies with clipped wings. Man, you ain't said nothing right there. Because there are people out here who thrive and live for the attention, and they can't get it right now because nobody is hooking up like that. At least they shouldn't be. But we're going to have to take care of our people. We're going to have to make sure that our folks is all right. We're going to have to check on our flat earth people who think that 5G is the reason, and make sure we get them a flip phone. You know what? Great Christmas gift, y'all. Flip phones for all the 5G people, all the people who think 5G is killing them and it caused COVID. Get them a flip phone for Christmas and tell them they'd be all right with that 2G. They'll be fine. And see how they make it. Y'all come on and check in with me. Jump on the live. Tell me how you feel. Tell me what your plans are for the holiday. Tell me how you intend to host your holiday event. I want to know, because you know what? Also, when you think about this, here's the other thing. When you host your event, are you going to social distance? Will there be an opportunity for, say, for example, the people who, when you host the event, are these people going to, can you stay 6 feet apart? Do you have a large enough dining room table? Can you make sure that, like, okay, here's a good one. Let's say you got a big family, and let's say you have only so much space at the table. Can you do staggered servings? Like, can you serve a few people now? Everybody maybe come in, mask on, pray over the food, and then you turn around and you serve a group here, let them get up. Then you serve the next group, let them get up. I mean, keep in mind, nothing is going to look the same as it ever did. Everything looks different now. So we got to figure out new and creative ways in order to take care of our families. That's where we're at now. So, we gotta, that's what we gotta be on, y'all. We gotta, pay attention to these things. We have to be, willing to take care of everybody that we can, in the family. Y'all hang on one second. Okay. Everybody, let me introduce you to my man, Alex. Some of you've talked to him before, and we're going to talk to him again. Alex, how you doing today, buddy?
Hey everybody, I'm doing pretty well actually.
Fantastic, fantastic. So, what do you all have planned for your holiday?
Uh, some small at home. It's been I think a year since my brother bought his home, so it's nice, settled in. Mother-in-law's in town; she's gonna be here,
Okay.
and we actually have a table that'll sit all 10 of us at the same time.
Oh, now there you go. But
Yeah.
are y'all gonna be? Now you said the mother-in-law's coming in. Where's she coming from?
Oh no, she's been here.
Oh, okay,
She's
okay.
been
She's just
here.
coming over. Okay.
Yeah. She's actually she's moved out here. My brother's got that big house.
Oh,
You've
okay,
seen it.
okay. Right. Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
yeah, great help for him and the girls. They're
yeah,
rambunctious as heck.
yeah. Very
but
good.
yeah, it's gonna be nice, small, private. Um,
Private
but
with how many people?
yeah, well, we're Mexicans, so we're
Then
multiply,
there's
try to
that, right?
multiply.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
But
okay.
yeah, it's gonna be something like now. I can tell you, my family is mostly centralized in Tijuana,
Right.
down in TJ. So that's where maybe 70% of the entire family is. Now over there, my grandpa is 85,
Okay.
good health, but eyesight failing a little bit, that type of stuff.
Right.
And we're fortunate enough to have my grandpa built a home, 50s in the front of the property.
Okay.
Then he built a house in the back of the property. So that's where he's at now. And the only access back there is a small dog run that goes back there.
Hmm.
And he's the only one in the back.
Okay.
And even his meals, they get. I equate it to now, mind you, it's Mexico, so all the gates over there are high and rebar and that type of stuff. So it kind
Right.
of looks a
Right.
little bit like jail. 10-foot fences with barbed wire on
So
the
y'all.
top.
So wait.
But
So y'all having dinner in the States or you having it in
oh
Mexico?
no, we're having dinner here.
Oh, okay.
But
Okay.
I mean, we're kind of in a bubble over here. I mean, we're the only family members in Texas, and
Okay.
but over there, where most of the family is, they're actually taking the COVID pretty seriously.
Okay. That's
And
good.
my grandpa is isolated in the back. When anybody goes to visit him, there's we put well, they put a chair outside the fence. My grandpa has another chair on the inside of the fence,
Okay.
and he was never a social person either. But it makes it a little bit tough. But I think it's probably going to go the same way for Thanksgiving. We celebrate Thanksgiving down there, border town,
Right.
and we never pass off a party. So
Hey.
we've always celebrated.
Hey. I
Thanksgiving.
party with y'all. I know.
Yeah, everything's a party. But I mean, it's everybody's making the best that they can from it. Where most of the family is, they're actually taking one of them social butterflies that can't go anywhere right
Okay.
now. And an extreme people person. Uh, and she's taking it in stride with a smile on her face.
That's what's
And
up.
I just hope everybody else can do the same because I have seen, other people that are total messes because they can't go out. They
Right.
don't have an opportunity to get dressed. So because they don't get dressed, they stay at home. And because they're at home and they're going to come back home, things may not be going too well. I know I've packed on more than a few pounds. And some other people have told me the same. I mean, nobody's really feeling that joyful. So I think everybody needs a Thanksgiving. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Sit
I
around
agree.
the table, look everybody in the eye, and say thankful that everybody's still here. The
Okay.
ones that are not, hopefully they passed on in good spirits.
There you go. That's a good thing. Well, I appreciate that, Alex. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all join the live. You can all you got to do is click on the link and you can come on in and give us some idea of what you think about the upcoming holidays and how you intend to handle it.
Wait, what about you, Brian, with the kids?
Oh
Coming
man,
all in?
you know my kids they ran from me. I beat them too much as children, so they all ran away.
They're all blazing their own trails, man.
They all ran away. What are you gonna do? No, they're all actually in Chicago right now. It's funny you say that because one of my daughters is like, Tatum. She's like very, 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 very COVID conscious. So much so that it almost, I mean, even me who is, I'm COVID conscious, but like my daughter is on another level with it. Like, she just forget about it. You know what I'm saying?
I
Just
just imagine that you post up a picture and there's somebody behind you. What are you doing so close to somebody, right?
exactly. That's exactly what she said. That would be something she would, why are you, matter of fact, I went out of the house last week to go somewhere, and by the time she called my wife, and she's when she found out I had been, what are you doing there? Why aren't you at home? Yeah, okay, all right. You all the way in Chicago, but you want to know where I'm at? Yeah, all right, whatever. Anyway, so yeah, but the kids, yeah, they're doing great, man. They're thriving and doing their thing and moving right along. And I'm not sure what their plans are for the holidays. In fact, I'm not even sure what my plans are for the holidays. I may very well be in the city of Chicago during the holiday. I'm not sure yet. We were talking about spending it potentially in Atlanta and then going to Chicago, but who knows? You never know with me. So what are you gonna do?
Yeah, be careful in Atlanta. I heard
Oh,
cases went up too.
bruh, listen.
It was
I was in
crazy.
Atlanta for a family funeral last month, and let me tell you, Atlanta was off the chain. Atlanta, it was like this thing doesn't exist there, which is why their numbers are so high. I literally was at the Hilton on Peachtree downtown, and people were walking around in there like it was any other weekend in the city of Atlanta, and all the parties were jumping. And I mean, people were walking around like just no mask, just out kicking it. And I'm paranoid. I'm getting on the elevator all covered up and looking crazy. I mean, but
I
that's
saw
what.
your video.
Huh?
I
Yeah,
saw
yeah,
the
yeah,
video.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. So
Everybody was looking fly and packed elevators and the whole nine.
exactly. Yeah,
I
it
saw
was. It
Poppy
was.
freaking out too.
Yeah, it was insane, man. It was crazy. It was
Yeah,
absolutely crazy. I don't know what was
I
going on.
I do have one more thing. I got tested for COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if anybody wants to get tested for COVID, I have an address. I'm gonna post it up on Facebook
Oh, okay.
Live, and it's very simple, very quick. Basically, just go. You take a picture of the little IRQ code. You make a quote unquote appointment, and
Mm-hmm.
you just wait until in a line separated by 6 feet. And when it's your turn, you go up to a window.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's all outdoors. It's nothing's indoors.
And this is
So
here in San Antonio.
San Antonio off of
Okay.
West Avenue and I-10, very close to there.
Okay.
Very quick. I was in and out in 20 minutes. And I had to get one because I don't know if you remember Clem and Jill from pool, from playing pool.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They came down with COVID.
Oh wow. Some of the
They're,
people
they're
on the
doing
pool
well.
on your pool squad.
Yeah,
Okay.
and in order for me to play and the other guys to play,
Wow.
we had to get tested.
Okay.
So everybody knew that we were okay, even though they were not. Now, they took everything in stride. They were actually fishing a couple days ago out in a little boat. They
Huh.
love to fish, but they're doing very well.
Well, that's good.
Their 2 weeks is up tomorrow, actually. But I'm gonna go ahead and get this address posted up and
Yeah, do me a favor. Well, you can
and it's
actually
no charge.
yeah post that
Yeah.
on this live feed as well when you get an opportunity. That way, anybody that's local that's paying attention to the show, they can also partake and take advantage of that. That would be a good thing.
Yeah, and it's very quick. Now, the only reason I want to do it is because I guess at my niece's school, somebody came down with COVID, one of
Wow.
the classmates. So they had to get tested, same thing. That way
Right.
everybody could go back to school. And
That contact tracing. That's what that is.
yeah, and they actually put everybody at the Alamo Dome,
Oh.
which is kind of crazy because it's a lot of space, but it's a lot of people to be cramming into. a
Still
small
indoors,
space.
and it depends on the crowd, because like you said, it's you dealing with a lot of folks in a small space. So
Yeah. And so for me, I mean, if you go to the outskirts, it's way better. It's nice,
Right.
quick, and in and out.
Hmm.
In fact, when I went there was a gentleman with two of his kids. He was coughing up a storm.
Oh boy.
Yeah, and it might have been the flu. I mean, it is flu season, but I mean, you never
Yeah.
know. And when you're in line to get tested for something like that, somebody's coughing their lungs out.
Yeah, you want to get him
Oh,
12 feet instead of 6.
yeah, exactly.
I mean, I,
So,
I can't talk because last week I caught a cold of all things. I'm out here calling myself, protecting myself from, whatever. But I'm going to be honest with you. And the funny thing is, I'm so conscious of where I go and the things that I do that I know where I caught the cold. That's what makes it so bad.
ah,
I ran some errands a little over a week ago. And I know for a fact, and this is exactly what I was thinking because the thought crossed my mind. I went into Walmart. That's where I caught the damn cold. I went into Walmart, and while I was in there, you know how different Walmarts, I don't know if they all operate the same, but I know like different HEBs operate a little bit differently. But I went in this particular Walmart, and when I got in there, they had the carts one pulled out already, like they usually will do. They'll have the cart pulled out so you can kind of, do your thing, which cool. Okay. But then I messed around and the thought crossed my mind. I wonder, did they clean this cart? I wonder, did they take the time to sanitize this cart the way they had been sanitizing, the carts before? And it kind of spooked me for a minute because I was like, yeah. Then I said, yeah, nah, they wouldn't. They're still doing the right thing. It ain't no big deal. Well, right after that, I realized, I said, wait a minute. I bet you they didn't clean it after I looked. Now they keep those handy wipes and stuff over there, right?
yep.
But while I was kind of looking at all of this stuff, I was moving so fast, it just kind of was like, I ain't gonna worry about it. And I kept it moving. Well, that was probably a mistake. So by the time I gathered up everything I was going to get and got myself situated and left the store, I still didn't think too much about it. But by the next morning, I woke up with a sore throat and I was like, wait a minute, what done happened? I messed around and caught the cooties. So there I was dealing with that. And fortunately, I was able to, with the help of my spouse, who is one of those health food nuts who deals with all of the good herbs and all that sort of stuff all the time, we were able to get it knocked down pretty quick. So I was a little bit upset because I was like, damn, I can't believe I got took. I got bamboozled. I got hoodwinked, run amok, led astray. What are you going to do? So there it was.
Everybody's got to watch themselves because I have this thing at the bottom of my gut saying just no COVID. COVID aside, people getting the flu, going to the doctor, which is fine. People getting the flu, coughing with COVID. They don't know they have the COVID, going to the doctor.
Yep.
And what's that going to look like?
The funny thing was because I had, got that little bit when I had to go out a few times this week, I was tripping because I didn't want to be out in public sneezing and coughing and going on. But, I didn't have a lot of choice. I had to kind of cover my, face. Well, I had my mask on, of course, but then, your nose is running and you're trying to keep your, man, it's just a mess. I went back home and I called it a day. I can't do this. So fortunately I was able to get it knocked down. Renee Ford says, I traveled in July and August. I sprayed my floor with Lysol in the hotel. I spray rubbing alcohol over the sheets. Yep. Smart move. Very good. Excellent. Okay. For those of you who want to know, that Alex just posted the link. Alamo Care Health Services, 1300 West Avenue, San Antonio, 78201. And that's for if you want to get a free COVID test here in San Antonio. And it's all outdoors.
And they do close by 5.
Okay.
Which I think it's on purpose. That way it's not an indoor thing. It's literally a tent.
Yeah.
and a little trailer, a little U-Haul trailer,
Yeah.
a tow
Rena, uh,
U-Haul trailer.
I keep she was talking about spraying the floors and stuff with Lysol. Now, I'm gonna tell you something. That is one difficult thing to get your hands on these days. Lysol is at a premium. At least it
Yeah,
is here in San Antonio. I don't know about other places in the country, but San Antonio, Lysol, good luck with that. I haven't
yeah,
seen a can of Lysol in months, literally.
yeah.
And the crazy part is all hand sanitizers and alcohol and all this type of stuff. Now the price on that stuff is so ridiculous that it's like, man, this stuff used to be $1. Now it's $6 and a
Oh,
few other
that,
things.
that's not even the bad part. Knockoff hand
Right.
sanitizer. Oh
Oh,
my gosh.
as a matter of fact, I need to put up this list. I found a list not too long ago that of knockoff products that are actually dangerous. A lot of hand sanitizers and a lot of the sprays and things that you need to be
Yep.
mindful of. Now, my wife, of course, having worked in the medical field, we have cans. We do have cans of other spray cleaners, the kind of stuff that they use in hospitals that they spray. So I'm fortunate, even though I can't find Lysol, I do have that. And like the young lady spoke on earlier, I'm real good about when we do have to travel and we have to be in places. We spray everything. Hell, sometimes I spray myself. Don't play no games. I don't. I spray anything in the way. If you're in the way, you're getting sprayed. Don't play. Because I don't want this. I don't want it. I don't want it. Y'all can have it.
Yeah, man, it's getting hot out there. I mean, at work right now, everybody has kind of stopped wearing masks now.
Really?
Oh yeah,
That's pretty
even in
unusual.
meetings.
Well,
And you've been in those
yeah, I
meetings.
was gonna
Everybody's
say
looking at
that's
each other.
not in a meeting, really. Now I can
Oh
see
yeah.
out in the
I mean,
shop.
now
But
mind you, everybody's really separated, but still, it's when I talk to people at work, basically when you move around, you're supposed to wear a mask.
right.
I made one of them deals with myself that no matter what happens, even if COVID goes away tomorrow,
Mm-hmm.
just wear your mask till the end of the year and then
Right.
see what's going on.
That's
But
right.
I move around. I put on the mask. If I'm by myself, yeah, I take it off. Because I'm one of the first ones there. Yeah, I don't have a mask on, but somebody comes up to talk to me. I put that mask on. Then they put their mask on.
Yeah.
Or
They
see
feel
me
they
with the
feel
mask on. First
self-conscious.
thing they do, they start putting their mask on.
You can make them feel self-conscious, so they put theirs
Yeah,
on.
yeah. It to me, I mean, it's just it's a common courtesy of saying excuse me. When you cough or sneeze, that type of
But
stuff.
that's the responsible thing to do. I mean, because all of us have families, and we want when we go home, whatever we contract out there in them streets, and we bring home, it will inevitably affect our entire household. So that's something that we absolutely have to be careful of. Regina Freeman says she'll spray everything and anybody. I don't blame you, Regina. Now, Val Wells, she says move early in the morning, less people. She's in the grocery store at 6 a.m. with Lysol in her car. Yes, absolutely a great idea. That get up and get it on done and get it out the way. Less people, less involvement, less contact, because that is becoming a thing. But now, still, when we talk about, one of the things that I find disturbing about COVID-19 is that, for example, when you're around people that you care about, when you're around family, when you're around dear friends, you get comfortable because you're comfortable with them, and you tend to let your guard down. You let your, you don't feel like this is a stranger and I'm going to catch something from them. So you tend to be less, defensive in regard to this whole thing. And this is what brings us up to the whole, when we talk about Thanksgiving and the upcoming holidays. We're going to have to still be mindful and careful, especially for people who aren't living under the same roof as us, about how we handle all of these things in our family environments. As crazy as it seems and sounds, again, this is the new normal. What are you going to do? We have to operate accordingly.
Yep. And about getting comfortable, a little sidetrack. When I was younger, way, way younger, I had a girlfriend that every time she came over to my place, she would just go to sleep.
Huh.
That's all she would do. She would come over.
You was
We would
putting her
see
to
each
sleep,
other.
Alex. Alex, was you putting her to sleep?
Hey, I don't know what them Jello pops had inside of them.
Oh, all right, Bill Cosby. Okay, Bill.
But she would always go to sleep
Passing out pudding pops around.
and I remember we broke up, and a couple months later, I spoke to her and I told her, and we were talking, like, why do we even break up? And I told her, every time we would get together, you just go to my place and you fall asleep. Like you. She said that's because it's the only place I felt comfortable.
Wow, and that's something.
And the same thing with the mask. It's something.
Right.
Sometimes you speak to somebody, it may not be that they don't respect your space or you personally. It's
just it's a comfort level.
They feel comfortable with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
They believe that you don't have the COVID, or you'd be responsible enough not to, if you were living in a lifestyle where you're out and about or whatever, for whatever reason. If you're a clerk at a convenience store with no plexiglass or something, that you're always going to be wearing it just in case. But it, when I remember that little thing about my life, it reminded me, like, sometimes it's not about some people feel too comfortable, like you brought up,
Right. Well, I mean, like, just here's a prime example. What about returning college students? What about college students who are away at school right now, who are coming home for the holidays? Because them colleges, they kick them kids out between Thanksgiving and Christmas. They can't. A lot of them are not allowed to stay on campus. What about college students that are coming home that have the potential to have been exposed to COVID and come home with that? Are parents going to quarantine them to their room for 14 days? I mean, these are the things that have to be considered, especially with the holidays coming. And on top of all of that, and this is the one thing that a lot of people that it hasn't affected on that level don't realize, is that there are going to be a lot of empty seats at a lot of tables this Thanksgiving. There's going to be individuals who are no longer with us. In fact, my family has one. And that is something that others are going to have to deal with. And again, depending on what the family structure is, there are going to be those who don't have anywhere to go or anyone to be with on this day. So these are the things that we have to, look out for your friends, y'all. Give your people a call, make sure they're all right. I don't know. I don't want to say invite them over because obviously, what are you going to do? Now, me and a couple of other friends of ours, we have taken an opportunity, and it's because we live in an area where the weather is good. We will open the garage and turn on. I got a flat screen out there on the wall. We'll turn the flat screen on, and we put our chairs apart from each other, and we'll have a few drinks, drink some beer, some alcohol, and have a few snacks and watch whatever's on TV, a good movie or something. And that's one way to interact with each other. But there's got to be ways. You're gonna have to be creative, and because we're already, the increase in viral infections of COVID over the last few weeks has gone through the roof. El Paso is off the chain. They've got refrigerated trailers down there now for bodies. A lot of people did not know this, but on the day of the election, we hit our first record high of over 100,000 people in one day being infected. We yesterday, as a matter of fact, hit 150,000 infections one day. We've been over 100,000 per day since election day. That's insane.
Yep.
And they're saying, go ahead.
When you brought up the fact about the mail-in ballots,
right?
People that and a lot of Trump voters not trusting it, so they didn't vote through that system and stuff. It's kind of the same thing with what's going on with this. Now that Biden's in office, do you think the mentality is because the cure is around the corner, and everything was looking better. Everything was pointing towards better.
Right.
Do you think people are maybe getting too comfortable.
Hmm.
Like we can do this now. We couldn't do this before.
I I
Uh,
I don't know. You know, here's the thing. The conclusion that I've come to is that we have different groups of individuals right now that are operating with this thing with different mindsets. One of those mindsets, I think, is that like what me and you talked about, the comfort level that you end up, because some of the people are over this. They like, I don't want to be bothered with this no more. But we don't have a choice. This is kind of like, you live on the moon and you stuck in a spacesuit all day, every day. And you finally like, I'm sick of wearing this damn spacesuit. I'm going to walk out on it. I'm going out anyway. Come on, dog. you, you, you already know how that's about to go. But
yep,
that's the
yep.
level of comfort that people are under.
I just think a lot of people breathed a sigh of relief when Trump went out of office.
I ain't gonna lie, I
But when they
did.
breathed that sigh of relief, nobody was wearing a mask.
Yeah, I ain't
So
gonna
they
lie.
just,
I felt a lot of relief just knowing he ain't gonna be there no more. Even though he's up to the shenanigans of trying to pretend like he's gonna stick around, and all of his Trumpanzees and his followers. They're having a rally. They're having another rally. I think it's this weekend. They're having several rallies, as a matter of fact, some protests. They're having a stop the steal protest. They are trying to say, of course, that this election was stolen. So, needless to say, we're going to be witnessing quite a few people probably getting knocked out for cracking out a turn. You know how they do. Yeah.
oh
But
yeah.
like the song goes, try Jesus, not me, cause I throw hands. Don't play no games. See,
You ain't lying on that one.
but
You're not.
they
Yeah.
they having this. They having Val Wells says super spreader. Yeah, they having some more of them super spreader events where they're gonna all get together and pretend like Trump is gonna be in office come January 20th. And today he finally came out and actually said something. Of course, he didn't want to have any. He didn't say anything
Yeah.
about the election or the process or any of that. And of course, another statement that he made was that this was the most secure election we've ever had in the history of these United States, except for what the Democrats did, and that was rig the election. Boy, I tell you, that's that's that dude is special, special.
I actually throughout the week I've been just looking at a couple of the things that their side is looking at to point out the discrepancies, the stealing, and most of this stuff has already been you mean unfounded. I mean, there was a video of some ballots being burned,
Which was
um,
fake.
yeah, I mean, and the thing is, the real ballots, they have barcodes on the
Right.
sheet. Those didn't.
They
They said at the very least there were sample ballots.
That's exactly
Not
what
real
they were. In
ballots.
fact, the person who did it finally admitted to doing it, and it's just been debunked. But of course, when people believe what they want to believe, regardless of how true or not true it is, that's what they're going to say was real. And of course, we know in Trump world, up is down, down is up. The truth is a lie, and we all can fly. That's just how they view the world. So they're gonna make it be whatever it is that they want it to be, regardless. Regina Freeman says, tell them don't forget to donate their money to the campaign to line his pockets again. Actually, I'm glad you mentioned that, because this is in fact a money grab. Donald Trump is going to change his tune here soon. He's probably not going to ever concede, but he is going to acknowledge the fact that Joe Biden is the next president. Now, the money grab is this. It's been said, of course, that he's going to attempt to make another run at the presidency in 2024, which I already know is not only is it not going to happen, even if it did, it's not going to work for a multitude of reasons that are just plain, that are obvious. But also they're working, the campaign already had run out of money by the time the election had come around anyway. They were already coming up short. So, which is part of the reason also why that Omaha rally that he had, and they left all those people out there on the airport tarmac for hours and hours in the cold, was because they didn't pay the bus company.
Yep.
The bus company didn't get paid, so they weren't coming back and picking up anybody, and all those people got stranded while he flew home on Air Force One in his nice comfy bed and got his chill on while they was out there freezing, and 9 people ended up hospitalized behind that. But
What
did he
about the Four
care?
Seasons?
Nah. Oh yeah. Let's not forget. let's not forget. They, you know what? They tried to make it look like that was a mistake. That wasn't no mistake. That happened. That was for real because they didn't have no money to be at the Four Seasons. So they ended up at Four Seasons landscaping in between the strip club and the crematory. See,
Actually, I got a little info on that. Apparently, they can't admit this, but apparently what happened is the staffer had booked at Four Seasons, but the Four Seasons got slick with it. And they quote unquote knew nothing about what was going on, and to save face, we just found the next best thing that said Four Seasons.
Now, Raina Ford says, I remember, if you remember at the beginning of the year, Miami had the Super Bowl, Chicago had the All-Star, tons of cruises, ships, and domestic international flights out of Miami. Florida is a hotbed for COVID-19. They are telling nurses that they can work with positive COVID-19 symptoms in Florida and elsewhere. Tampa's supposed to have a Super Bowl in 2021. You know what? I just saw a story today where there are several nurses. Doggone it, where was that at? A lot of nurses are actually working that are asymptomatic, and they're still working within the ranks of the COVID-19 medical areas.
Yeah.
And they're allowing it now. And I mean, this is what this was what I believe was their initial intent. They want everyone to catch it. That was Donald Trump's solution. He stood up on TV again today and said that the numbers are declining, which is yet another bold-faced lie. You already lost the election. Now, I'm going to tell you something, and I thought about this too. I believe that if he had handled this pandemic a little differently, I think he'd still be the president, believe it or not.
Yep.
I think he would still be in office, as bad as I hate to say that. So on that note, I'm going to say thank God for COVID-19 because he got to go. He got to go. I don't know what kind of damage he's going to do between now and January, but he got to go.
Yeah, it was pretty bad, man. I saw a small report. It was like 5 minutes of, because people always say, well, Trump says a lot of things, but, you know, he doesn't mean them, or he meant this or the other. And it's like, yeah, you're right. Maybe. Okay, I'll give you that.
Mm-hmm.
But then they show what happens when he says this or that. When he said no more Muslims coming to the U.S.
Oh, yeah.
Or no, even better, which applied to me, anybody with immigration status, permanent residence, may not be able to come back. The airports got flooded.
You know, now that I'm thinking about this, and I guess I should have asked you this sooner. So since we got you here, let me ask you, Alex, how do you feel or about this recent election in your current status? How do you feel about the fact that he's no longer going to be president and there's potential for the laws to be rearranged so that you can feel some more levels of comfort? Or how do you feel about all of this?
For myself, because I'm in a position because of my job, my family, my friends, I have a great base, and not a lot of people do. So, I mean, from where I'm at, and I haven't brought this up, and I haven't mentioned it to really anybody outside the family, I'm 10 days from owning my own home.
Well, congratulations, my man. Hey,
Yeah,
hey. Party at Alex's house.
You know, it's like I'm in a different place than most, but I can't tell you from people that are not, that I speak to. They are happy. Mostly not because and I do got to say, because I actually asked from the last time we spoke. I wanted to know, really know, not just perceive
Right.
what was going on.
What your thoughts were? Yeah.
Yeah, or equate just them being happy at the moment and speaking on the subjects that
Mm-hmm.
they were happy about the situation, and actually everybody, you know, is relieved. They can breathe a sigh of relief. It's like a weight off their back. They don't have to worry about it now.
Huh.
It's they don't have to worry about it day to day. Like if I go to Mexico to visit the family, am I going to be able to come back?
Right.
Is something going to change? Are they going to close the border again? A lot of people don't know when the president spoke about the permanent resident status, the
Mm-hmm.
visitor visas, and at one point he talked about the worker visas, which he stopped for a little bit. A lot of people just rushed the border. My family crosses, at least I have at least one family member crossing the border through the checkpoints in Tijuana, which is
Uh-huh.
the busiest border city in the world.
Really.
Yes, it is the most active point in the world for crossing one country to the other. And I have at least one family member crossing every single day. There's three family members that work in the States that live out there.
Excuse me one
It gets
second.
bad.
Excuse me one second, Alex. You just got a marriage proposal. Regina Freeman says, "I'll marry you and you can stay." I suggest y'all. There you go. Hey, that's it. The Black Factor has done it again. That's a Black Factor first. We have made a love connection on the Black Factor. That's what's up. Very good. Very good. All right.
Man, we need these good times, man. I'm telling you, man, it's getting pretty good. I actually wrote something down that I listened to a couple podcasts. Armenians in general in California.
Right.
There's a famous lawyer. His last name's Garagos. He represented
Yeah, I've heard of Garagos.
yeah. He's Brown, that kid, the rapper.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Chris Brown.
Yeah, Chris Brown. He
Mhm.
represents Sam. He's got him on speed dial. But he's Armenian, very big into the Armenian community. He asked a lot of business owners and stuff like that. I said, "So what do you guys think about Trump?" I said, "He's a piece of shit. He's an asshole."
Mhm.
And so who are you voting for? Trump.
Hmm.
Uh, it's crazy, and that's why apparently he's when he had Erdogan visit he had a visit over here, and because they hashed it out, they're really big about the Armenian genocide and stuff like that, and basically that's what you would call a one issue voter. I mean, for most Armenians, he was on their side on that and wanted to fight for them, and because of that one issue, they forgave everything else.
That's something.
For Hispanics, the ones I asked, they just never liked the guy because they were so uneasy.
I've found though that a lot of people that's the thing about most Trump supporters. They're generally one issue voters. There's usually some one thing that locks them in to where it doesn't matter what he says or what kind of ignorant crap comes out of his mouth or what he does. It's just like, for example, you have your abortion crowd. I don't want anybody that's going to kill babies, and they swear anybody who says that they are for abortion and whoever they're talking to is against abortion. And it's just like, there's always this either or attitude, but my whole position always on that is anybody who's got a problem with a woman doing as she pleases with her own body, especially when it comes to that. See, these same people, all I say is go out and adopt some of these children that were unwanted, take them to your house, feed them, clothe them, send them through college. If you're not prepared to do that, you need to shut the hell up, number one. Number two, if that's how you feel, don't be one of those people who talk about we hate abortion and God hates abortion, and then you turn around and you are itching to convict some child that's out here stealing a sandwich, because that happens, or one of those people who is on welfare or public assistance, and you criticize them and talk about them like a damn dog. because they can't make a way because they're struggling, which they knew they were going to do in the first place. But
Yep.
you were so insistent on them having these children, then help pay the way. If you're not helping them pay the way, you need to shut the hell up. It's as simple as that. But yeah, anyway.
And a lot of those issues, I mean, like school choice.
Yeah,
Everybody is going to destroy the public school system.
right.
Well, the public school system has been steadily dropping every year for the past.
And proof of that is Trump
5 years.
supporters. Trump supporters are proof that the public school system sucks.
I mean, right now there's no civics.
Man, listen.
Were you speaking about civics last time?
Yes, I just told
Okay.
somebody yesterday, because I was thinking about what you said, and I just told somebody, I said, you know, the average person in this country, if they were faced with having to take that same test that you have to take to become a citizen, and if they had to test on this right here, United States Constitution, your ass would get deported. The average American would get tossed the hell out of this country if they had to take that same test that you got to take.
Yep. Right now, I didn't know this. I thought it was only going to be my mother. Apparently, my mother and father, they are going to, they're going through their citizenship right now. They have I didn't know exactly why, but apparently it's easier if you get a lawyer to do the paperwork for you. There's some kind of research process also. They're basically going to be the, I don't want to say it that way, but they're going to be the, I was going to say the test dummies. But I don't want
Crash test dummies.
Yeah, into the system of how to do this. And it's very intensive. I did not know how intensive it was going to be. The backgrounds alone, that's nothing. You just fill out some paperwork. They look into you. They actually require you to know exactly how many times you've gotten in and out of Mexico, you know, legally, illegally, where you stayed, how you supported yourself, crimes, no matter how big, how small. And it's very, very intensive. That's why I've never understood why everybody says that the process is too easy to get in here. No, it's not.
No, the hell is not. Well, you know what? I'm gonna tell you one of the things that pisses me off about immigration, and this is one of those weirdo talking points that they use in the media and the right wing, where they say that Mexicans come across the border. And it pisses me off, first of all, that they make Mexicans the poster children for immigration. When we know for a fact, like you were talking about the Armenians earlier, you got the Russians, you got people from all over the world, literally, that come into this country on a regular basis who go through the same things that the Mexicans have to go through. But they always want to make it about Mexicans. Now, the part that pisses me off is when they talk about, they say stuff like, well, they come in here and they're taking your jobs. And they always point at black people. Like, for whatever reason, Mexicans are out to get all our jobs. Well, here's the thing. Here's my thought on that. If somebody can come across this border, regardless of what country they come from, and they have the skills to take a job away from me, then guess what? They're a highly skilled individual. You, I know for a fact, are a highly skilled individual. You make more money than the average American person if they had your job. I've seen it with my own eyes. So the part that trips me out is ain't nobody stopping another guy who has your same ability from getting money except himself.
Yep.
We're a part of a profession that you know how many people we've seen come and go? How many people have we worked? Yeah. Have you and I both worked side by side? This case for the audience, for y'all that don't know, me and this gentleman used to work together. For people, he and I have both worked side by side with people who are American, white American, who have had all of the opportunities and privileges in the world and can't touch neither one of us with a 10-foot pole because they just can't. It has nothing to do with what country they came from. You either got the skills or you don't. Now, if somebody can come in from Mexico and take my job, it's not a lot I can say because that means I need to be stepping my game up. It's something wrong with me. That's how I see it.
I saw on PBS years back with the worker visas. I want to say they're H1 visas. Maybe I'm getting confused with H1N1. But it's H something visa.
Yeah, you don't want that visa.
And it's all, you know, just to come here and work. You don't live here, but you come and work. And a lot of people think it's for picking fruits and vegetables, but
That's exactly
also
what people think. They think all the
fishing.
Mexicans come across the border, they're gonna pick
Yeah,
vegetables and cut your lawn. That is not
also
what's happening.
fishing, construction. All these storms that pass by, they pass around the same time of year, and
Mm-hmm.
all the houses got to get repaired and built around the same time of year, every single year.
Yep.
And you need that big influx of workers to come here and do them. And then when they make their money, they go back. I've known a lot of people that do that.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, the shrimping business, great example.
Mm-hmm.
You're a captain of your own ship. You own your ship. You're the captain, but you need people who I don't know the term. It's chuck the shrimp, I guess, clean them.
Yeah.
But you only got 10 minutes to do it. So you clean the shrimp within 10 minutes because then you got to refrigerate it. The
Right.
clean ones, of course, go for a premium. The ones that aren't clean, they don't. So you need somebody that's quick and can sort through that quickly. The shrimping, I think it was 3 years ago when those visas stopped. Those guys lost millions of dollars collectively. So the fishing industry took a big hit.
Now,
And it was all because of that.
yeah. Oh, well, I mean, just as an example, I remember this was some years ago. I remember I was living in Atlanta at the time, and this was back. I don't remember who it was going on and on about the immigration situation, and this was a thing that was happening at that time in Alabama. And I remember because Alabama they have a lot of watermelon and other
I don't know.
products that are grown there. And one day, I believe it was the governor, put out a notice and said that they were going to deport all the Mexicans or anybody they caught. They were going to kick them out of the country. And funny part was, because these were pickers, these were people who came in seasonally and otherwise, and they picked fruit. Them people got up out of there overnight.
Yep.
Those farmers in Alabama lost their ass.